Barcelona, a name that echoes history, passion, and glory in world football. From Cruyff to Messi, passing through Romario, Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, Eto'o, Suarez, and Neymar, the Catalan club has always been synonymous with strikers who not only score goals, but transform games into art and write unforgettable chapters in the memory of the culés. For years, Robert Lewandowski has been the beacon of the Blaugrana attack, a relentless goalscorer who defies time. But at 37, the clock does not stop, and the question that resonates in the corridors of Camp Nou is inevitable. Who will be the next to carry the weight of the number 9 shirt? Who will be capable of succeeding a legend? In recent months, one name shines with increasing strength: Julianalvarez. The young Argentinian, world champion alongside Lionel Messi, has been winning hearts and sparking debates. He is the new jewel of world football, with talent, versatility, and an impressive goal instinct. But is La Araña ready to be Lewandowski's heir? Everything began on the banks of the Rio de la Plata in Buenos Aires, where football is more than a sport. It is a religion. Julianalvarez, born in Calcín, a small town in the province of Córdoba, arrived at River Plate as a teenager with the dream of making his mark. And it didn't take long for him to show that he had something special. At just 18, he was already among the professionals, facing the pressure of wearing one of the heaviest shirts in South America. Nicknamed La Araña, the Spider, for his ability to be everywhere on the pitch, Julian impressed with his tactical intelligence, tireless movement, and killer instinct inside the box. He wasn't just a finisher, he was a player actively involved in the build-up, pressing defenders and appearing in decisive moments. At River, under Marcelo Gallardo, Alvarez became a key player. He was a protagonist in winning the Argentine Championship, the Copa Argentina, and, of course, the historic 2018 Libertadores against rivals Boca Juniors, a feat that forever placed him in the hearts of Millonarios fans. His 54 goals in 122 games for the club proved he did not feel the weight of responsibility. It was only the beginning of a journey that would take him far beyond Argentina's borders. December 2022, Qatar, the stage where legends are born. Julianalvarez arrived at the World Cup as a promise, a 22-year-old who shared the spotlight with Lionel Messi, Ángel Di Maria, and other giants of the Argentine national team. But what seemed like a secondary role turned into a show of talent and personality. Against Poland in the group stage, Alvarez scored a superb goal that paved the way to qualification. In the semifinal against Croatia, he showed composure and explosiveness, scoring twice and tearing apart the opposing defense. Alongside Messi, he formed a partnership that seemed to have been playing together for years, combining speed, technique, and intelligence. In the final against France, although he didn't score, his constant presence was essential in keeping the French defense under pressure. When Emiliano Martinez saved the last penalty and Argentina lifted their third star, Julianalvarez was there, tears in his eyes, embraced with Messi. He was no longer just a promise, he was a world champion, a name the football planet now knew and respected. The Qatar World Cup was the turning point that put Alvarez on the radar of Europe's giants. After shining in Qatar, Julianalvarez landed at Manchester City, the club dominating European football under the genius Pep Guardiola. And what an arrival! In just 2 seasons, he collected a trophy cabinet many players dream of their entire careers: Premier League, FA Cup, Champions League, UEFA Super Cup, and Club World Cup. An enviable resume for such a young player. But at City, Alvarez faced a unique challenge, sharing space with Erling Haaland, the Norwegian phenomenon who redefined the concept of a striker. Haaland, with his astronomical numbers, over 90 goals in 2 seasons, dominated the headlines and monopolized chances up front. Even so, Julian found ways to shine. His 20 goals and 13 assists in 67 games for City show his ability to be decisive even without being the absolute star. Versatile, he played as a striker, winger, attacking midfielder, and even in deeper positions, always with the same commitment and intelligence. Pep Guardiola, known for his high standards, spared no praise. Julian is a complete player who works for the team and decides games. Still, for a talent like Alvarez, being Haaland's understudy was a barrier. He wanted more minutes, more responsibility, more protagonism. And it was that ambition that led him to the next chapter. In the summer of 2024, Julianalvarez swapped Manchester for Madrid, signing with Diego Simeone's Atletico de Madrid. The transfer, worth around 75 million euros, was seen as a natural step for a player seeking more minutes and a central role. Under Cholo, Alvarez found a different environment, a more physical, tactical football with less possession and more defensive intensity. At Atletico, he quickly earned his place. His versatility, being able to play as a striker, second forward, or even drifting wide, fit well into Simeone's system. With goals and assists, he became an important piece of a team looking to return to the top in Spain and Europe. But not everything was perfect. Reports in the Spanish press suggest Alvarez is not entirely satisfied. Atletico's style, often more reactive and less creative, doesn't fully exploit his offensive qualities. He shines in systems that value possession, movement, and quick passing, something Atletico, focused on transitions and defensive solidity, doesn't always provide. Moreover, the absence of major titles in the 2024-25 season increased the feeling that Alvarez still hasn't found his ideal stage. In this context, Barcelona emerges as a tempting possibility, a club where offensive play, attacking tradition, and pressure for titles may be exactly what La Araña needs to weave his definitive web. Robert Lewandowski, one of the greatest scorers in football history. Since joining Barcelona in 2022, the Pole has been synonymous with goals, leadership, and charisma. With over 80 goals in his first 3 seasons, he defied expectations and established himself as a pillar of the Blaugra's revival. But time is relentless. At 37, with a contract until 2026, Lewandowski no longer has the same physical explosiveness, and the club's board knows they must plan for the future. This is where Julianalvarez comes in. Young, just 25, a world champion with experience in elite clubs, he brings all the qualities to be the ideal successor. His style of play perfectly matches Hansi Flick's philosophy, the coach who brought back intensity and attacking football to Barca. Alvarez is a forward who doesn't limit himself to the box. He moves, presses, creates plays, finishes with precision, and has the composure of a killer in decisive moments. The Spanish press already speculates about a possible mega transfer, with values reaching 200 million euros, an investment that reflects the weight of his name and the expectation that he will lead the Blaugrana attack for a decade. But the question remains, is he worth the price? Is Alvarez ready to carry the legacy of the legendary Lewandowski? Or would it be a risk to bet so much on a player still seeking absolute protagonism? Julian Alvarez has already proven he has everything to be one of the greats. From River Plate to the top of the world with Argentina, from trophies with Manchester City to a starting role at Atletico de Madrid, he has built a respectable career. But at 25, La Araña is still searching for the stage where he can shine as the absolute star. And Barcelona could be that place. Being Robert Lewandowski's successor is no easy task. It requires talent, a champion's mentality, and the ability to handle the pressure of one of the biggest clubs on the planet. Alvarez has the resume, the versatility, and the potential for it. But will he be able to turn that potential into reality? Is he ready to wear the Blaugrana number 9 and write his name into Camp Nou's history? Now the ball is with you, the fan. Is Julian Alvarez the perfect replacement for Lewandowski, or should Barcelona look elsewhere? Leave your opinion in the comments, share this video, and join us in this debate that is heating up.